route through a dungeon wing and across a bridge to the ancient ruins of Ra'a. I ended up clearing most of this zone looking for a way to the map pillar thing and not finding it. My skedaddle power reached double digits here, being 11 for the boss Ramana of the Bud dude, and this was the only main fight of the DLC that I killed on my first try. For some reason after this, I gave up on my Mapstone quest and went back to the Abyssal Woods. I reached Midra's Manse shortly thereafter and spent 40 minutes fighting Midra himself before finally winning. Which is weird because I think the Lion and Rolana are way more difficult than him. I must have kept getting caught out by some of his damaging spells, I guess, or something like that. I was still tree power 11 for this boss. In between this play session and the next, one of the creaky wheels in my head finally squeaked out a thought, and I wondered if the broken seal in that weird message that appeared when I approached Shadow Keep was referring to the door in the chasm I found earlier in the Cerulean coast. This turned out to be correct. It was a surprise to me too, so I did that literal dungeon dive next. My Scadu amp still went to 11 for the boss here, but I began to wonder about the balancing implications of it when I absolutely melted the Putrescent Knight on my 4th attempt. I liked this boss a lot more when I fought it a second time with just the longsword and got to see its mechanics. I returned to Cerulean next to explore it more thoroughly, and then did the same for Scadu Altus right after. I did some side dungeons and found a beautiful cave that led to the land at the face of Ra'a and where the Trolley Mapstone was located. With the map finally complete, I first admired the big tree at the top of it looks gorgeous, and then spent half an hour bamboozled into hitting every wall around this elevated township, and trying every angle to double jump over with torrents because a message nearby was telling me there had to be a way in somehow. I finally did get in, only to immediately, and I do mean immediately, find the hole in the wall I was meant to use when I landed on the other side. I regretted not streaming my clip.
With Asana, tasks and company-wide goals are in one place, so your teams understand how their day-to-day work connects to
through in this moment. Sorry, chat. Would have been a good clip. A quick teleport later, fully exploring Shadow Keep was finally happening. Or so I thought, because it had a whole other entrance and area I hadn't found yet, so I spent a ton of time trying to figure out how to get to this ladder before giving up. I even found a glitch in an invisible wall that stops you from getting through here, even if you can make the jump. Good job there, From. By the time I got to Mesmer, I was Shadow Blessing 15, but was still braced in his flame for 35 minutes. Quite difficult. This was my second favorite fight of the DLC. I wonder if everyone knows what my favorite fight is now. I've already said that. Somehow I missed one of the gaping holes in that village in Altus, so I spent more time than I care to admit trying to find the way down to this area of the map, before noticing this well with a ladder and thinking, well, there must be a tunnel, and stumbled upon the way forward nearby. I broke through this area, couldn't be bothered killing the awkward leg Carnos Golem again, met the Finger Ruins guy at the church, and found the second entrance into Shadow Keep, with a new Londo Ruin watery twist. There's a lot of back and forth between areas from this point on, and this was the last major bit of exploration that happened, so I'll conclude the final fights with bosses in quick succession. I was still Scattered 15 for Commander Gaius, and killed him the first time I managed to dodge his stupid truck at the start of the fight, which was my fourth attempt, so only a few minutes were spent here. You get 5 fragments for beating Gaius, so I was DLC level 17 for Scadu Tree Avatar. This took me way longer at almost half an hour. I met some here shortly after this and got a very sloppy kill in under 3 minutes. Probably didn't deserve this one, but I didn't like the fight that much, so I don't care. Much to my dismay looking back, I had forgotten about Vale and Dre, and thought that burning Mesmer's Kindling for the final stretch was all I had left. So I did that, exploring a few side areas I had missed in Ra'a while I was there, and then cleared a near Alim, or Billy Rhine, as my brain insisted on reading this backwards for some reason whenever I saw it. Radon is the final boss, if you didn't know. Spoiler warning was a while ago, to be fair, which made my choice of armor for this playthrough unintentionally very amusing to me. The crowd goes mild about this being a returning boss from the base game, though, or at least I hope it does. Or maybe the crowd is going wild because there's nothing more Elden Ring than reusing unique event status fights from the base game, right? Everyone seemed to love that. As I said earlier, I spent 5 hours fighting this guy before seeing victory, even though I had reached Scatman 19 with a set of fragments from the last area. That's a pretty big bump in fight duration. Even Vale was a baby in comparison after this, dying in under 10 minutes, but remember, I had over an hour of attempts from earlier in the run that taught me a lot, so he still comfortably comes in second place for attempt numbers. He's in first place for my favorite of the expansion, though, and in my heart. Good job on getting that if you guessed correctly earlier. That was my run of the DLC, and happily, all the major talking points I want to go through can be found in that summary. Nice that, almost like I planned it. Because I didn't. The 2 biggest problems I think FromSoft were facing when making this expansion were progression and making an addition to the open world formats. DLC for Dark Souls and the like has traditionally been a few more levels with a few more bosses.